Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us today at the launch of our next generation mobile solution. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're thriving in this extended period of lockdown that we find ourselves in. It really has been an unprecedented few months. One thing we've learned, if it wasn't obvious already, is just how dependent on technology we are. We really can't live without it. We need the internet, we need high performance networks, we need cellular, we need wireless all the time. And the device that we just can't do without is, of course, the smartphone. I bet all of you right now know exactly where your smartphone is, and it's not very far away from you. We're using it in all sorts of new ways. We're finding new applications to entertain ourselves at one level and to feed ourselves at another level. It's almost amusing to see just how the use of the smartphone has evolved over the last couple of weeks. People are now ordering in food and using their mobile phone to order groceries in a way that they've never done before. And discussions on the best app to use are becoming a common topic of discussion on video calls. And video calls over the last few months have, of course, gone through the roof, and not just in the business setting, but in people's personal lives as well. It's become an indispensable technology to staying in touch with your family. I personally have used video calls on a regular basis to talk to my family overseas, something we never would have done before were it not for this crisis. So we're finding new ways to use technology, we're finding new ways to connect with each other, and I think our future is going to be even more dependent on technology than it was in the past. Now, one application that particularly caught my eye recently is a project called Rosetta at Home. This builds on a larger project called Folding at Home that was created by a company called Baker Labs, who are based in Washington. And what they've done is really impressive. They've come up with the idea and the technology to use spare computing cycles to simulate the dynamics of proteins. This has been targeted at desktop computers, at laptops in the past, but the team started to build a solution specifically to look at simulating the proteins associated with COVID-19. So that's great. And then one of our partners, a company called Neocortex, came along and they saw that and they thought, well, could we take that software stack and could we run it in a secure container on a smartphone? So moving away from the desktop, moving away from the laptops, and leveraging the fact that there are billions of smartphones in the world, and many of them, in lots of periods during the day, aren't doing anything. Let's put those compute cycles to good use. So that came up with the idea, but it took a partnership to really bring that to life. We've worked with Neocortex, we've brought in partners from Mininodes, from Packet, from Linaro, and together we have on March the 31st launched a complete software stack that allows you to run the Rosetta at Home software on your mobile device. Now, right now, not that many people are using it, but we hope that that's going to change soon, and that will hopefully give rise to what I like to think of as the world's biggest and most distributed supercomputer being used to hopefully analyze the underlying chemistry of COVID-19, and hopefully that's going to lead to some research which will find us a solution to this. And let's face it, that can't come soon enough. It's a great example of new partnerships that are coming to life, driven by the necessities of the situation that we find ourselves in. In the past, this might have taken months. It might have never have happened because of the conflicting priorities that everybody has. But in this instance, all these companies came together. They came together for a common good, and between us, we've delivered. It's really impressive, and I encourage you all to find out more about it. Now, before I hand over to Paul, I want to come back to this idea that technology is going to form a bigger and bigger part of our lives in the future. If we just take video conferencing, for example, video conferencing has been great. It has changed the way, certainly in business anyway, that we communicate. I was on a regular plain old telephone audio call the other day, and it just felt wrong. It felt very old-fashioned. It felt like I was losing a lot because I couldn't see the other person. I couldn't see their body language. I couldn't read the visual cues. And let's face it, a lot of communication is unspoken. So video conferencing has brought us a long way very, very quickly, but it still isn't the same as being in a room with someone. We, like many companies, are in a discussion about how we drive innovation, how we drive invention in a world where everybody's working from home and they can't get together in a room, they can't stand around a whiteboard, they can't collaborate with each other up close. Well, maybe we can take video to the next level. Maybe we can create more immersive experiences using video and using virtual reality. This is the sort of thing that I think will be accelerated because of the COVID-19 crisis that we're in. It's the kind of technology that can really change the way people communicate, but what it's going to need is more and more performance out of that thing that you carry around with you, the smartphone. And that is what today's product announcement is all about. Paul is going to go into the details, but it's about bringing together new levels of performance so that we can, through this extended partnership that brings technology to life, we can deliver those immersive experiences that I think, fueled by 5G, will come to life in the coming years and form another indispensable part of the technologies that we rely on daily. So it's an exciting time. I'm really proud of the technology that we're launching today. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Paul Williamson. He's the general manager of our client group. But before I go, I just want to say thanks so much for joining us today. Stay safe. Paul, over to you.
Hello and welcome. My name's Paul Williamson. I'm the Vice President and General Manager of Arm's client line of business. And welcome to our first virtual launch of our performance IP. We're all doing so much with our smartphone. We're seeing great new innovations that are driving technology requirements. Things like super zoom and new foldable form factors. Our smartphone is increasingly expected to capture the world around us and fuse sensor data together and render rich, immersive digital content. Productivity is also defined by the capabilities of your smartphone. It's becoming our primary work platform, from video conferences to enterprise applications. It's a platform for all businesses. I myself in lockdown have seen how important and fundamental it is to the logistics of getting produce to my door. In that use case, it's predicting the needs of the driver and the delivery people to ensure that fusing data, it can make sure the best experience is there for me. Smartphones have also been increasingly supporting medical use cases. And in the most extreme case, we've seen it recently used for contact tracing. I say extreme because it highlights the need for on-device security, protection of personal data, and making sure that we balance that privacy with the effectiveness we need as we come out of these challenging times. I'd like to say a little bit about machine learning. It's a workload of increasing importance in our devices. Machine learning typically is associated with visual experiences like filters or use in TikTok. But increasingly, it's being used under the hood of your smartphone as well. It's responsible increasingly for things like power management, predicting your usage and adjusting systems on and off to maximize the life of your battery. It's being used to replace DSP in use cases like audio or sensor fusion for activity monitoring. It's also there for security, monitoring your behavior and isolating malicious events. Really, the smartphone is becoming the supercomputer that's ready for inference at the edge of our networks. As smartphones are part of our life, the ecosystem around them evolves, and it is also increasing its demands, and we're raising the bar to match that performance. You'll see today that we're going to deliver our year-on-year performance commitment while maintaining efficiency. We're driving accessible performance for Android developers across the ecosystem. And while it's early days for 5G, we're seeing a step change in the demands on performance that are driven by this new high bandwidth that's being deployed around the world. We're together delivering a solution with our ecosystem that supports the best experience in next-gen devices. And it's in that context that for 2020, I'm pleased to announce the mobile digital immersion solution from Arm. It's a complete refresh of all our premium IP. It's improving scalability and configuration options It's driving a full solution that improves efficiency while allowing you to extend that more performance you're looking for. And it takes premium use cases to a wider range of markets. Our latest IP in CPU, GPU, and NPU is there to deliver the highest performance, always-on user experience. So we're going to give you more from the same power budget as you had last year. In CPU, I'm excited to announce the Cortex A78, the most efficient big core CPU we have ever built. It's delivering over 20% sustained performance improvement from previous generation IP. That's more sustained performance in a 1 watt power budget that translates to real-world responsive performance. In GPU, Mali G78 is our second generation GPU based on the Valhalla architecture. It's our most performant GPU with an incredible 25% improvement. It's going to mean you can enjoy high performance mobile gaming for longer. It'll support richer user experience, and it's going to boost the performance of machine learning and other complex workloads. As you'll also hear in the launch, we're bringing premium gaming experience to the biggest audience ever. In NPU, Ethos N78 is our second generation NPU. It deploys our understanding of developer needs in a new, scalable design. Ethos N78 will accelerate on-device inference with a 25% gain. Because it is scalable, it can be tailored to target markets with performance levels from 1 to 10 teraops per second of acceleration. Altogether, this delivers a powerful platform that will enable incredible experiences. Our 2020 mobile compute solution will enable devices that are more responsive, run faster, and run for longer. So let's talk about compute performance. We're seeing this demand for a significant leap in compute performance while maintaining the best power efficiency. We want to fully enable users to benefit from what 5G has to offer and ensure that we maintain and drive performance in application launch time, web page scrolling, and social media filters. We need to embed the right balance between compute performance and efficiency in devices. So let me introduce Cortex A78 in a bit more detail. It's our most efficient premium Cortex A CPU ever designed, with an increase of 20% sustained performance compared to the previous generation. A78 represents the very best of ARM's drive for premium performance and best-in-class efficiency. It answers the challenge of delivering more performance with increased power efficiency and area efficiency. Our design teams have worked hard to optimize all aspects of the microarchitecture based on their experience in A76 and A77, with a goal to deliver more performance at higher efficiency. The result is an ideal CPU to support the need of additional sustained performance. It enables extra essential performance in the thermal constrained envelope that we typically see in smartphones and other consumer devices. The major push on efficient performance makes Cortex A78 ready for the next wave of mobile innovation. Let's compare A78 to our 2019 IP-based devices. It delivers 20% higher sustained performance for a mobile power envelope. It's really important. It enables us to sustain higher performance in a device with very limited power. This will avoid power throttling in high-performance applications and will also improve the user experience, avoiding lag or frame rate drops. The major push for power efficiency will also translate in higher efficiency devices. And for the same amount of performance, the energy consumption is going to be halved. That's key to enable longer battery life. and longer usage for devices without the need to charge them. In a full configuration, Cortex-A78 uses 15% less area than a similar configuration using our 2019 technology. So more performance in the same power budget and longer battery life for existing use cases. I'm excited to say that we have one more thing to share with you today. We've been listening to our partners and ecosystem and seeing the industry challenges, and for this, we've collaborated with a small number of key partners to reach a new performance level going beyond our traditional roadmap. First, a bit of history. In 2016, we introduced the Built on ARM Cortex Technology Program. The program was enabling partners to customize further the CPU to increase the performance beyond the standard product range. Our partners have been asking for another step to address the need for ultimate performance in their flagship products. And we've listened and created a program which offers performance differentiation and customization beyond the roadmap. With this program, partners can create devices that compromise on power and area efficiency and deploy cores that deliver all-out performance. This complements the Cortex-A CPUs focused on high performance and best-in-class efficiency. The program and its outcome is made possible through very early and continuous engagement with our silicon partners and the engineering teams. They collaborate together to integrate their needs and drive feedback into the microarchitecture. And today, I'm thrilled to announce the first outcome of the Cortex-X custom program, the Cortex-X1. The Cortex-X1 is our dedication to ultimate performance, with a considerable increase in performance over the previous generation of 30%. It answers the question of how much performance can be pushed for this generation without considering usual constraints of power and area. It's targeting flagship smartphones and large screen devices. And given the silicon area and dissipated power, it's really not something we expect to see in every device. It's a major push that's going to enable faster response in any use case. It enables our Cortex-X custom program partners to be more competitive with their flagship silicon. It'll deliver the highest single-thread performance and enable our partners to compete with other ARM CPU implementations. In large screen devices, it enables ARM-based devices to be competitive against all use cases out there, including large screen compute, while still remaining the leader in efficiency. At the cluster level, Cortex-A78 focuses on performance and best-in-class efficiency. When upgrading from Cortex-A77, it translates into more sustained performance, that's 20% more, at a lower area cost of 15% less. It matters for any applications that require several high-performance threads to run in parallel, for example high-fidelity gaming. Adding Cortex-X1 enables a boost for peak performance. It's clearly a solution made to deliver the highest single-thread performance, but coupled with premium efficiency of the Cortex-A78, it fits perfectly for the ever-expanding need of performance in a flagship device. So, big news on the CPU. But as I mentioned, immersive experience is driving the need to understand the world around the smartphone and generate new, beautiful 3D content. Gamers are getting more and more complex in their demands, and console games like Fortnite and PUBG are now being played on mobile. Use of machine learning to fuse data and interpret the world around as it gets more complicated is going to need to offload some of that work to the GPU to support applications like AR tracking whilst maintaining rendering at the same time. VR continues to be a hot topic, and increased frame rates for fully immersive experiences again require a premium GPU performance. All of that needs to be done while keeping the same power footprint the GPU must remain highly efficient. So, last year we launched the Mali G77 and it was the first GPU on our new architecture Valhalla. This year, Mali G78 takes its place as the highest performing GPU we should see in devices in 2021. We've increased the core count up to 24 that allows people to boost performance for key high performance gaming cases. We've introduced a new async technology that improves the utilization of all cores, which is extremely important when you have such a high number. And energy efficiency is really important. So we actually got our GPU and CPU teams to collaborate to reduce the energy consumption in key math units within the GPU by up to 30%. All of this depends on the performance in real-world games. We've got a team in ARM who are dedicated to looking at the performance of key games and feeding that back to both the hardware and software team during development. We've led this work to drive specific improvements of between 5 and 17% on complex scenes that involve smoke or grass and trees and similar effects. This is just at launch. Our team is continuing their work throughout the life of the product, so you'll continue to see improvements in real-world gaming experience. We're seeing an increase in the offload of some machine learning tasks to the GPU. It turns out that a lot of ML content is actually bound in the top level of the GPU, which means increasing the performance here also helps the ML use cases. On average, again, we've seen around a 15% improvement against a variety of different ML workloads on the GPU. And this accounts for a variety of industry benchmarks from Geekbench to Cinebench. So Mali G78 will also be key to boosting machine learning performance. Of course, we need to unlock this power in our latest IP for all developers. And that's why I want to talk to you about Performance Advisor, a freely available part of our ARM Mobile Studio. This tool makes it easy to optimize content on Mali by doing the hard work for you. It allows quick detection of bottlenecks and generates detailed reports showing you those bottlenecks and gives you performance improvement suggestions. Using this tool, developers immediately know where the problems are, so they can spend their time on generating beautiful content. So Performance Advisor is our key work to improve developer access to the best performance in Mali products. A new high-performance tier of smartphones is emerging out of nowhere. People want flagship-level features without the premium cost. We've spoken to our partners about this, and they wanted greater scalability in our IP. They wanted to take premium features we're introducing and make them available across their full portfolio of devices. They want these features before they come into the mainstream. They're also looking to reduce the cost of developing devices by reusing some of the work that they have made and investment they've made in their flagship silicon. This isn't going to replace the mainstream products that use our Mali G57. Those are still best in class for that performance point. This, instead, will give area optimizations that make them perfect with the performance features at a reduced cost level. This is about taking premium features and making them available to the widest audience ever. So for the first time, we're bringing high-performance gaming like titles such as Fortnite and PUBG to the widest audience. AAA gaming content really will be available much more broadly. So, Mali G68, the first Mali GPU to serve that expanding growing market beyond the flagship device with performance features. It supports up to 6 cores. Remember, Mali G78's minimum configuration is 7 cores, so this places G68 below G78 in terms of performance. But it does inherit all of the key features from Mali G78, so you'll get all of the work we've done on capabilities and efficiency, as well as the updates to improve the performance of top games. So this allows users to experience the latest premium features running at a performance point that's most appropriate to them. I've mentioned machine learning several times, and we've shown that we're increasing machine learning performance across CPU and GPU. For the highest performance inference this year, we're introducing our second generation mobile NPU, Ethos N78. We have doubled the Mac capability to get a peak of 10 teraops per second capability with the N78. There are two main design themes: efficiency and configurability. That means you're getting bigger bang for your buck by optimizing efficient data movement. There's new compression technology that's used in N78 that drives 25% better performance efficiency in terms of inferences per second per millimeter squared. So we're doing more work in the same area, or same work with less area. We're driving better compression into the design that leads to less DRAM traffic per inference, and hence an improvement in the memory bandwidth efficiency. The second theme is configurability. With neural networks, they come in many different types, some being bound by compute while others are bound by the memory. Customers can configure the MPU to adjust the number of MACs, the internal SRAM memory, and the number of vector engines, and this combination allows for more than 90 different configurations of N78. This means the NPU can be tailored to better match the workload that's being targeted. Apart from matching the NPU configuration to the workload, it also allows scalability on performance, targeting multiple market tiers and different price points. I mentioned for GPU that our Performance Advisor tool is unlocking access to developers. Well, we've applied the same thinking and developer focus for our machine learning to ensure access to ML improvement across CPU, GPU, and MPU. Towards this, our developer tools like DS5 Streamline, used for debug and profiling across CPU, GPU, and MPU, as well as ARM Mobile Studio, used for app and gaming optimization, are being enhanced with ML capabilities so that developers have a unified view of the software across the diverse processing capabilities of the hardware platform. No matter what application you're developing or dreaming of, and what sort of ML you want to run, Ethos N78 has got the performance, capability, and efficiency to effectively deploy it. All of this underpinned by the world's largest ML ecosystem. The majority of ML today runs on ARM CPUs, and Ethos N78 is designed to work in sync and harmony with Cortex-A CPUs. With Cortex-A78, we're driving and enabling premium performance for daily mobile use. Through our Cortex-X custom program, we're answering the ever-expanding needs of the ecosystem for the ultimate in performance. We're enabling partners to offer competitive solutions for flagship smartphones and also large-screen devices. With Mali G78, we are bringing AAA gaming content to the mobile platform with longer playtimes. And with Mali G68, we're expanding that AAA capability to a larger audience than ever before. Finally, with Ethos N78, we're delivering the most scalable machine learning acceleration platform for developers in this new and emerging technology space. With our performance IP, we continue to invest to give developers access to the next level of compute, power, and performance, and help them to deliver the richest and most immersive digital experiences for users. I hope you're as enthusiastic as us about soon seeing this technology in products, and I really thank you all for your attention today. Stay safe.